Simon Diamond Soul, here again. Hello everyone. And it's very windy today, so I try to be careful with my text. It's fucking windy. Very windy. It will be a difficult video because of the wind. And here we are in the park. And that park is called the Saint Bernadette Park, and it's in the city of Montreal. Anyway, about the last video, I did not give enough detail about what was going on in my life. As I was in a cemetery, and all I said is that I was in grief at the moment. And by the way, I am still in grief now. But anyway, now I will tell you what happened and how I feel about it. So enough with the introduction. So here is what happened. And now we are at the main topic. And we are in the Saint Bernadette Park. Well, 5 weeks ago, my dear grandmother died at the hospital. Yes, my grandmother died. And she was my last grandmother and also my last grandparent. In other words, sorry, there's a lot of wind. Oh, man. In other words, now I don't have no more grandparent. And by the way, my last grandmother died at the age of 98 years old, and she almost reached 100 years. And by the way, the reason why you guys saw me in a cemetery in the last video is because 1 week ago I was in the funeral of my grandmother, and I was very sad at that moment. Sorry about the shaking and the wind. It's very difficult to film this video with the wind and the weather. I think it's going to snow. There will be snow soon. Can you imagine that? Anyway, the main reason as why I'm making this video is because I want to honor this great person that was my grandmother. And the second reason is because I want to keep you updated, guys, about what is going on in my life. Sorry about the camera. Like I said, the wind is crazy today. Yeah, I want to honor my grandmother. The second reason I do this video is because I want to keep you updated, guys, about what's going on in my life. So the first part of this video will be me telling you who exactly was my grandmother, and the second part of this video will be about how I live with her passing away. So now we'll start with the first part, and so here it goes. Her name was Pauline. Yes, Pauline. She was the mother of my mother. So my mom is also very sad at the moment, as well as me. In fact, a lot of people are very sad at the moment because a lot of people did love her. As in fact, my grandmother did raise a family of 9 children. And my grandmother was very proud of her 9 children. She had 8 daughters and only 1 son. 9 children, can you imagine that? And she was a married woman. Yes, she was married. Sorry, there's a lot of wind. But her husband passed away a long time ago anyway. As important thing I got to mention is that my grandmother was living with my mom in her last years. Yes, she was living with my mom. In other words, during 9 years, my grandmother was living in my mom's house and my mother was taking care of her. As my grandmother had Alzheimer's and also she had heart problems. And the reason that she died was because her heart was weak. Her heart was too weak in the end. But anyway, I just want to mention that I was also proud of my mom for taking care of my grandmother for so many years. Not a lot of people can do that. But back to my grandmother. Oh, there's some NPCs around. Behind me. Back to my grandmother. Yes, she had 9 kids and was married, but she was also a faithful woman who believed in God, and she also believed in paradise. As she went to the Catholic school and also the Catholic church when she was still young and even as a young adult. She had a strong faith in Jesus and God. And rarely we can see that type of woman in this. We can rarely see that type of woman in this day and age, guys. It's very rare a woman like this now. But anyway, after her divorce, she went back to work, and she did work for the Industrial Alliance Company, and then finally she did work for the Sun Life Company. She was also, of course, a teacher. She also gave course as a teacher to women in difficulty. The name of the course was called Femme Vivante, which means in English, alive woman. So my grandmother was working, raising a family, and doing, of course, all the same. She was working and doing course at the same time. So she was very strong and a valiant woman. I'll just take a break, guys. There's some NPCs around. Yeah, my grandmother was very strong. She was a strong woman. Fucking NPCs. Yeah, you know, I think he's going away for now. If there's too many NPCs, I'm gonna change location. I hate that. I hate those fucking NPCs that disrupt me when I'm trying to read my text. Fuck. I continue. We are half of the video. My grandmother also traveled around the world to places like Europe, Africa, Asia, and South America. She did travel a lot in her life, as she could save money for travel because she was not smoking or drinking, and she was very proud of that. You see, if I was like her, I could travel too, and she's a great model for me. Anyway, she's a great model for me. She had a good life, and she was indeed a very loving mother and also a very loving grandmother. And she took care of me when I was a child. And in my eyes, she was the best grandmother in the world. And I will explain why. As are some of the many qualities she had in herself. Her qualities. Number 1. She was a strong, valiant, and courageous woman. Number 2. She was a very patient woman. Number 3. She was always sober and did not do drugs or drinking alcohol. Number 4. She was calm, serene, and in almost all situations. Number 5. She was a super generous person, and she had a heart of gold. In other words, she was giving a lot without expecting nothing in return. Number 6. She was always trying to help others. Number 7. She was always smiling, she was kind, and she had a lot of charisma. Number 8. It's an intelligent woman, and she's always curious to learn more in life. She's always looking to learn and develop new skill and competence in life. Wow. Number 9. She loves beautiful things, and she has a sense of beauty. Her sense of beauty is very deep and developed. And finally, number 10. She is bilingual, which means she speaks both French and English. Wow. Oh, and now my hands are starting to get. It's kind of a windy and cold days. But we are almost at the conclusion. My hands are very cold. So that was it about the qualities of my grandmother. So knowing she was a good person, it makes her departure more difficult for me. But my grandmother was also a person who loved life a lot, as she loved to travel, of course, but she was also loving driving her car so much. Also, unlike myself, she used to love the beach and the sun. She used to love the beach and the sun a lot. Yes, I don't like the sun. But just like me, she used to love writing and reading books. Well, I could continue on and on, but I think I will stop with that. With one last thing. In fact, my grandmother was the only one who taught me how to speak in English. When I turned 9 years old and 10 years old, she used to teach me the words first and then complete sentence. And it's not school that teach me English at all. It's my grandmother that teach me English. And I will always be grateful to her for that. Oh, a bird. I always be grateful to her for that. And when I was a baby, she used to help my mother, and she did take care of me. She was a super kind and generous grandmother. Yes, she used to take care of me when I was a child. And now we have arrived at the conclusion. Sorry. Now we have arrived at the conclusion of the video. And it's very cold. Well, I love my grandmother. I love her so much. And she also loved me a lot. So that makes my grief even more difficult. And yes, I'm very sad right now, but at least I am happy for her that she is in paradise now. And now, heaven have another angel. Yes, heaven have another angel, because she deserves the sky. Also, I know she was already 98 years old and that I was lucky to have her at my side for so long, but still I can feel the pain of her being out of this world now. And I feel like a part of me has completely disappeared. In fact, I have a lot of souvenirs and memories with my grandmother Pauline. And I mean a lot of memories. So it makes it difficult for me to forget about her. But I don't want to forget her. I want to honor her. I want to honor her. And what I mean by that is this: my grandmother was a model to me, and she is a true example of how I should live my life. So I want to honor her and honor her memories by doing different things. First, I want to quit alcohol forever, once and for all. Second, I want to read as much book as possible and draw my design as much as possible. 3, I want to go take my driver license before it's too late. And finally, 4th, I want to go back to school if possible this year. Well, it's all beautiful goals, but I will have to focus a lot if I want to achieve this. Anyway, we are at the real conclusion now. I will miss my dear grandmother Pauline. May she rest in peace. She was so kind, generous. She was so kind, generous, patient, and a loving grandmother. And I love her so much. And I will remember her all my life. I will remember her all my life. So that's it, everyone. Always stay true to yourself. Don't let the enemy get the best of you, and don't give up on life. Stay safe, brothers. Simon Diamond Soul. See you next time. Yes, guys. I will always remember her, and I will always love her. I will never forget about her. See you next time, guys. Now she's in paradise, like an angel. Bye bye.